Over the years, cyber attacks have evolved from youthful pranks into well-run operations by organised criminals and state-sponsored agents. The processes used to carry out the attack have also evolved, becoming more automated and more standardised, with well-defined business processes. The industrialisation of cyber attack led Mike Cloppert, an analyst at the Lockheed Martin Cyber Emergency Response Team, to research in 2009 the process of cyber attacks. His resulting paper proposed the concept of the Cyber Killchain to describe the process. The Cyber Killchain views an attack in 7 stages: reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and actions. An attack doesn't always progress from one step to the next. It may involve overlapping and iterative activities, but each stage represents a milestone in prosecuting the attack. Let's look at each stage in the cyber kill chain. Reconnaissance is the term given to finding out about a target. Just as a burglar will case a joint before breaking in, so a cyber criminal has to find out about his or her target, a process called enumeration. Individuals typically have one address on the internet which has been allocated by their internet service provider, whereas a business may have a number of addresses in what's known as their internet domain. A cyber attack against a business target will start with a known website address and then scan the internet space around that address for other systems used by the target. The business will see this as a response check on every host in its domain. This is known as an IP address scan. Then, when the attacker has a list of active hosts, he or she will scan each host in turn to find out what entry points are exposed. This is known as a port scan. Attackers need to know the software version of the services running on those ports. This process of enumerating the target is generally done at scale, searching for lucrative targets automatically, using what are known as botnets. A botnet may comprise hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of compromised computers, which can be tasked to do scanning, and may be owned by the attacker or rented out from a botnet service provider for a fee. Malware is weaponized when it's customized to a specific target or group of targets. It may be designed to exploit a vulnerability in a specific version of an operating system, or target a specific online banking website. It will be designed to contain what's known as a payload, which when the target is penetrated will be installed and run the attack proper. In the age of hacking as a business, cybercriminals will often purchase rather than develop their malware. There are a number of different ways malware can enter a system. One way of delivering malware into the target is to infect a document, PDF image, or other electronic item with the malware, and then send it via email to an individual and trick them into opening it. This is known as a phishing attack. Another way might be to find a vulnerable website and infect it with the malware, in such a way as to ensure that when someone visits the website, the malware infects their workstation. Removable media such as USB sticks can also be used to carry malware. Another entry vector might be to use a stolen user ID and password to enter the target system, or to use default user IDs and passwords built into software on the target system, and transfer the malware into the target manually. Attackers will also look for vulnerable services, and then deliver a malware payload through the flaws in that service. In practice, an attack will often require establishing a beachhead on an internet-exposed host, and then using that to penetrate deeper into the system to get to the real target, which may not be directly connected to the internet. For email, web, and USB-based attacks, the malware often exists in attachments. When the malicious attachment is opened, the malware will begin executing and exploit a vulnerability in the target. For remote access, the exploit takes place through a packet or stream of packets sent to an exposed service on an internet-accessible host. The exploit may automatically copy in a payload, or it may use a two-stage approach by opening a shell on the system through which the attacker can manually copy in the payload. As soon as the vulnerability is exploited, the payload is dropped onto the target's system. This could be into memory or onto disk. It may also involve installing some form of mechanism to make sure the payload resumes execution after the system is rebooted, a process called persistence. A typical way of doing this on Windows is to add a registry entry to automatically run the payload when the system starts up. An attack may be designed to remain in place, communicating over long periods of time with the attacker using a remote command and control channel. This is typically the case when the payload is designed to provide a long-term source of intelligence, or when it's used as a relay to carry out ongoing attacks from its host to another target. Exactly what form of attack is carried out by the payload when it arrives at its target depends upon the motives of the attacker. A hacktivist may want to deface a website. A spy may want to steal sensitive information. And a cyber criminal may want to access a bank account in order to steal money. There are many forms of action, limited only by the attacker's imagination.